Yeah, so guys, I would like to share a few thoughts with you. I hope it helps somebody. Even if it helped one person, I'll be very happy. How many of you have noticed that, sometimes when we see new talent and we see somebody with a brilliant talent, whether in music or in soccer or any field, we sometimes see somebody mushrooming and we celebrate and we have great expectations, but in a few moments they just disappear and they're nowhere to be found. Someone was a very promising young person in soccer. Everyone was raving about him, and then after a few years is nowhere to be found. I can count a number of them that we know. Even in music, we've seen it, and in other sporting fields or fields of art. So I had this thing, I was thinking about it. Um, God, when God gives us talents, I think he wants us to live out of those talents and for a long time and for our families to benefit. Think about Cristiano Ronaldo, his family, his even his generations to come, his great grandchildren, they'll benefit out of the soccer talent that he had. So, I think God gives us talents so that we can live out of it and so that our families can benefit out of our talents. I think it's the perfect will of God for a person to live out of the talent that God has given him. And when God gives you a talent, for me, it's like He's planting a seed in you. You are the ground. So it will depend whether you're good ground or you're thorny ground or a ground that is full of rocks and whatever stones, and then the talent will be choked and it we won't see it manifesting. I want to say this, that there's a verse in the Bible in Genesis, I think it's chapter 13, where God says to Abraham after he had separated from Lot, he says to him, as far as your eyes can see, I'm giving you that land. As far as your eyes can see. My pastor once preached about this, and he said, when you think about people like Kazam Taung, he saw the land of soccer, and out of that land, his family, his children are benefiting. That is why you see them, in the management of Kaiser Chiefs, one of the biggest clubs in Africa. Uh, People saw the land of music, and they're living out of it, and their families are benefiting. So God allows you to aim, as far as far as you can aim, as far as your eyes can see, you can actually reach that place. But there are a number of things that you need to do. And like I said, for me, every talent is a seed. So if your talent is a seed, it's upon you to nurture the seed, to water the seed, to make sure that the seed grows. And like I said, unfortunately, sometimes if the ground is not good, the seed won't grow. And so there's somewhere in the Bible where Jesus he talks about the parable of a sower who went out to sow some seed. And he says some of the seed um, fell by the wayside, some seed fell on a rock, some seed fell on thorns, some seed, and then he says there's a seed that fell on good ground. Let me talk about a seed that fell by the wayside. It's like it's a young boy or a young girl, talented, great potential, and we all have great hopes and expectations about him or her. But in a very short while, it gets devoured by the industry that is in. If it's music, it gets devoured by the music industry. It disintegrates, it vanishes, before our eyes and is nowhere to be found. It's a sad story. Another one, also talented, fell by if the talent or the the seed fell on a rock. This one, highly talented, but he's too proud, arrogant. He's Mr. Know It All. He lacks depth. He's consumed with self. He's unreliable. We've got a lot of these ones in the music. Though he shoots up, we all see him shooting up. Great talent, great musical talent. His arrogance and lack of morals soon exposes him, and he becomes a danger to himself and is wiped away. The other one also fell on thorns. This one is a talented somebody, but he hangs out with bad people. His friends are not good. They are always up to no good. And, his priorities are mixed up. He must choose whether he must go to the gym or go to a party, go to a rehearsal, or hang out with friends. Now, within a short space of time, the promising career is gone. But then there's one that the Bible says it fell on good ground. This is a young person who has talent. He invests in the talent. He also makes sure that he invests in good relationships. He has good friends. He's surrounded by good people. He acknowledges and honors people who are ahead of him, and he looks up to them, and he actually checks them. He makes sure that he looks for things that will improve him, and he doesn't give up. He's focused. He's persistent. He wants to see this thing growing to become something that will yield great rewards. And indeed, it does reach to that point. So the problem is not the talent. And let me say this: never despise your talent. There's no small or big talent. Talent is talent. Never despise it. What is important for me is the ground. It's you, the ground where the talent is being planted. Are you a good ground? Are you a thorny ground? Are you a ground that is filled with stones and rocks? Or are you a ground that is good and conducive for this seed to grow? So I want to say to us, the talented folks, guys, make sure that you nurture your talent. And there are things that you must do to make sure that your talent is nurtured. If it's a music talent, obviously there's quite a number of things you can do. If you are a keyboard player, a bassist, or a singer, there are quite a number of things that I might not, share today here that you can do. Some of you already know what to do. But one of the things I want to advise people to do is to always have, I would call it an advisory board. You must always have people around you who talk to you, because sometimes you get into situations and you need people to rescue you from those situations. You must always have that team of people that you know that when things get tough, they are always there for you. They'll cover you. Make sure that you, especially the moment you start, flourishing and people are raving all over about you, sometimes it gets to you. So you need people who will always calm you down and say, no, the Bible says your gift will make room for you. Your talent will make room for you, or it will bring you before great men. The moment it does that, you need to have your support base. Your family, number one, is your strongest support base. Make sure that you don't leave your family behind. Your family must always be there too, because I know those ones, they have your best interest at heart. But you also have other people around you. It could be your pastor, it could be a friend, it could be, but let it be people who you listen to, because you'll need that, so that when you are going through some issues, or you are taking a direction that's going to lead you to danger, they'll be able to say, no, 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 don't do that, don't go there, don't sign that contract. You need such people around you. And one important thing that I think is going to be the last thing I share today is, make sure that you respect and you value relationships. Value relationships, because God, along the way, He'll bring people to you. And it's not just for fun. God brings people to you because He knows that your destiny might be connected to somebody. You know, it's sometimes when we are too talented, we think the talent itself will open doors for us. But sometimes it's not even the talent; it's how you relate with people. Somebody must be able to say that drama. I can bet with my own life. That guy is very reliable. If you use that one, you'll never be disappointed. You don't want people to say he's talented, but he's got issues. I wouldn't want to associate myself with such a person. So that's what I'm saying. Value relationships, value good relationships, and always treat people well. It doesn't matter how how much talented you think you are. You must know that there's always somebody who's better than you somewhere. There's no best keyboard player in the country. There's always somebody better than you somewhere. Somewhere ends up when that you might not even know, you know. So there's always a better vocalist than you. So learn to respect people and learn to honor people, value relationships, always respect, always um, deal with people kahle. Ungabi ne-bad reputation, ungabi ne-file elingasi kahle, everyone nakakhuluma ngawe. There's that one thing that they all mention that is not nice. I hope people are gonna hear this, and I hope, at least like I said earlier, even if it helps one person, I'll be very happy. Thank you.